Hey everyone, how's it going? It's me, Ricky Ortega here, and in today's video, I'm here to talk about a YouTube channel named Blaire White. I'll be responding to one of her videos right now. It's called My Issues with LGBT. So we'll just talk about what's in the video, and we'll analyze her points, and I'll talk about what I agree with, what I disagree with. Let's see what she says.
Hey guys, so I'm someone who has never really felt super comfortable or at home with calling myself part of the LGBT community. And that's for really a number of reasons. A couple being that I prefer to find commonality and community with people who have similar interests, hobbies, beliefs, rather than you're gay and I'm trans and we should be friends because of that, or you're a dummy girl, non binary anteater and we should be friends because of that. That's just not my thing. And
Okay, so I agree with most of what she said there. I mean, after all, we should be friends with people that are good people, not because of their sexuality. Okay, I get that, but don't do that where you then say, gender fluid anteater or something like that, non-binary anteater, because that's not what non-binary people are. The non-binary people are people that don't really feel like they have a gender. They feel neutral about that. So again, it's kind of ignorant to just say that, you know, people just label themselves whatever they want. They label themselves based on how they feel about themselves. They don't feel like they're a helicopter or something, but they feel something in their human body. That's what they feel. That's the whole point. So I don't like that, but let's just continue. But I do agree with most of what she said, though, in this particular part of the video.
the other is that I find the community to be very much ideological and like an exclusive club in some ways, in which people who have different politics, people who aren't liberal, are basically shunned or sometimes vilified, and I don't really like that. And I've been to different
Well, conservatives. I remember when I was conservative at one point, and when I changed to being liberal and to being left leaning, I got a lot of hate comments saying that I was a beta male, that I was a cuck, that I was a snowflake, that was an idiot, that was a retard. They kept calling me those names. So it's not just the left that does it. And if you really want to point this out, you're speaking from the authoritarian left, but not the libertarian left. The libertarian left is a lot more accepting with people based on, regardless of their beliefs. Like, I'm a libertarian leftist, so I don't take it personal that you want us all of a sudden be a right winger per se. But I do agree. I do disagree with the right wing movement. I don't agree with all of their with a lot of their ideologies. And again, you say that our movement is ideologies, but the right is also ideologies. There's nothing inherently wrong with ideologies. It's just that it depends on which ideology is good or bad. Let's continue.
LGBT events, groups, meetings throughout my years, and I've never really liked them or really ever felt like I should be part of that. I've been to different gay pride events, which, honey, gay pride in San Francisco, I felt like I needed to go to church and get baptized after that shit. It was an experience.
Okay, but that's your experience, but that doesn't reflect on what other people experience in the Pride. I've had people tell me that they've had a great time in Pride parades and everything like that. So again, that's just your experience, and I don't really see why you would have a bad experience in Pride. But your experience doesn't represent what the other 99% people have experienced. So one person, one bad, and also if you go to Pride once and you have a bad time there, that doesn't mean that you're gonna go there again and have a bad time. So, one person can't be the spokesperson of Pride parades either.
Let's just say I won't be going again. A few times early in my transition, I went to Stonewall meetings, which Stonewall is like a large LGBT foundation that does different community activities and outreach and stuff like that. So it was a group setting, and it was all trans people and self-described genderqueer people. And instead of it being a place where I could go early in my transition to sort of be, steered in the right direction at a time where perhaps I needed that, I felt like I was being indoctrinated. Every time I went, I felt like I was more so at some sort of like low-key political rally. It was a never ending stream of I can't stand straight people this, I don't like cis people that. And it was basically just a platform to radicalize activists, now that I look back on it.
Okay, so it's interesting you point that out, but can you further explain what you mean by that? Like, what do you mean that it's indoctrinating you? Like, what do you mean that they're putting political ideas in your mind? Because you haven't really said any examples. You just kind of said that, but you have to give examples as to why they do that. And also, if you say that they hate straight people or they hate males or whatever, they don't hate straight people. They don't. Many trans people that I know of, they don't hate straight people. Straight people is not the problem here. The problem is transphobic people and homophobic people that are the problem, not necessarily straight people. I don't see a problem with a straight person. I'm friends with plenty of straight people in my life, and I'm in the LGBT community. So, straight people, any rational person can tell you, especially from the LGBT community, that being straight is not a sin. It's not something horrible. It's who you are as a person that determines whether you're good or bad. So that's all I have to say about that. And again, people on the right, they do this stuff as well. They would politicalize anything. They like to indoctrinate people too, especially on the authoritarian right. Even in the libertarian right, they like to do that sometimes in different kinds of movements and things like that. Yet you don't see people calling them out on it as much. But when it's the left doing it, it's horrible. So, again, you have to look at it from all sides.
I was dropped by pretty much all of my LGBT friends as well the moment I started doing YouTube videos, and so, needless to say, hopefully I'm painting the picture here that me and the community don't get along too well. So I put together some questions that I have for the LGBT community in the hopes of sparking conversation and dialogue. And obviously I understand that there are individual LGBT people who these questions are not going to apply to you. If they don't apply to you, then they don't apply to you. But here are the questions. So number one, why are gay pride events so hypersexual?
I don't think gay pride parades are hypersexual. I think it's just that there's a lot of people that like to express themselves in gay prides. But also, who cares if some people go in their underwear in gay pride parades? That doesn't matter. It doesn't take away the experience or why people do pride parades. They do them because, again, historically, gay people has been shamed. They have been killed. They have been persecuted throughout history because of their sexual orientation. And now we actually have the opportunity to be able to express ourselves and to be able to be proud of our sexuality. That's the whole point of the pride parades, is to be able to celebrate and be proud of who we are.
I understand celebrating your rights, hooray, but why is it acceptable at these events to be just like as crude or as visually sexually explicit as you can be? Obviously not everyone at these events is like that, clearly, but it's also a common enough thing that these are what these events are known for, and I witnessed a lot of it when I...
Okay, but that doesn't mean that we all go there in our underwear. Again, there are many people that go there, and yes, there are some people that are in their underwear. That's fine. And also, that doesn't necessarily make it a horrible, horrible thing, as long as they're not, treating other people badly or anything like that. That doesn't matter. We go to the events because we want to feel pride. We want to feel happy about our sexuality. That's the most important thing. And people there are genuinely nice from what I've gathered from the LGBT community on my Instagram page. So, don't just put them all in the box and pretend like all of them's the same thing.
I went to Gay Pride in San Francisco. I mean, isn't it kind of counterproductive to try to normalize a group of people by acting as abnormal as possible?
But how is it abnormal exactly? That's what I'm trying to find out. Because us humans, we love to be happy. We love to feel pride in ourselves. I don't think that's anything wrong with that. But let's continue.
Why is there such an ideological bias within the community? I mean, I'm really not mad at the fact that most LGBT people are liberals. It is what it is. But it's the attacking and vilifying and ostracization of gay or trans Republicans within the community that kind of bothers me.
Okay, so this is where I want to answer. So basically, um, there is this thing where yes, people in the community don't love, but they genuinely don't like people from the right, and I don't really blame them. I mean, people on the right have bad ideas, and that's the whole point. And people on the left are actually more liberal. They're liberal, right? So they have better ideas, they have better philosophical approaches to life, and that's why LGBT, most of them they love to be on the left. And people that are on the right that are gay people, it's not that they're bad people. It's not that we should shame anyone for going on the right or anything like that. But I just feel like going on the right, it betrays the whole purpose of the LGBT community, and it betrays the whole purpose of the left. Because the whole point of progressives is to make the world a better place, and Republicans' philosophy does not let you do that. It only makes the world better for the higher, rich up people, but for the common person or for the poor, it doesn't help anybody in that area. So that's all I have to say about that.
I mean, all it took was one video, my first video, of me talking about how I'm not.
And also, not to mention that Republicans, conservatives are historically against gay people, historically against the LGBT community. So, do you really blame the the backlash that many gay Republicans take or get, like Milo Yiannopoulos or Caitlyn Jenner? I don't blame the left for feeling that way. Now, do I think that they shouldn't, you know, obviously they shouldn't insult the person, right? But I don't blame them for being mad at those people for leaving. I don't blame. Okay, so here's how it goes. So I don't blame the left being mad at people leaving the left for going to the right, because again, you're going to a movement that has been historically against gay people, LGBT people. So yeah, you're gonna get some hate for that. That's not a surprise.
Not a feminist, for my entire local LGBT community to attack me viciously, say horrible things about me, and to drop me as a friend after years and years of friendship. I think that's a problem. Why is it so common within the community for people to believe that gender is a social...
Well, I've had friends that were Republican, and when you know it, I lost their friendship too when I left Republicans. So it's not just the left, it's the right that does it too. And I just get sick and tired of that. Many Republicans, they love to say that, we shouldn't let, different ideologies or different ideas change friendships with people. But then again, you have to also take into consideration that the philosophy of the right, of the Republican Party, is very, very, very bad. And do I really blame them for not being friends with someone that is against progressive values? I don't blame them. I can't. I wouldn't be friends with anybody on the right either that are strictly against LGBT people or against progressive values. I can't be friends with anybody like that. That doesn't mean that they don't have the right to freedom of speech or anything like that. I just don't want to be friends or be associated with them. I'm associated with good people, not with people that are completely against my ideology or my beliefs. Why would I do that? And that's not me being closed-minded. It's just me being honest. I'm not going to be friends with people that are bigoted in their mindset or anything like that. I'm not going to do that.
Social construct, but also that trans people are born with the brains of the opposite gender. Those are two directly contradictory statements.
Not necessarily. Gender is a social construct because it basically means that because for example, a person that is a boy, right? They can wear a pink shirt. There's nothing wrong with that. A girl can wear a blue shirt. Doesn't matter. A girl can wear a suit and tie. That's fine. A man can wear a dress. That's also fine. That's what they mean by social construct. And yeah, you could feel like you can feel like you're a man and be transgender. That's obviously true. Transgender people are real. I mean, take yourself for example. You're transgender and you're real. You're a woman. Exactly.
Get it together. Why is the acronym constantly expanding? I mean, people say this as a joke, but it's true. It used to be LGBT, and now I believe it's LGBTQIAA. Are we eventually going to roll over to numbers, symbols, African Sign Language? Let me know. I'll try to keep up. Just let me know.
Well, they keep expanding because, again, we discover new things. We discover what other sexualities people may have. Now, obviously, are all of the genders and all of them, they're not all correct, obviously. Some of them are not, some of them are correct. Like, for example, I believe that pansexual people exist, asexual people exist, demisexual exist. I believe in those sexualities, and people and sexualities that are not as per person, like polysexuals and things like that. And obviously, I am for non-binary, gender fluid people because, again, science discovers new things, and we discover new things over time. And when it's correct, we'll add them in. That's the whole point of the expansion of the letters.
Why does the community by and large support children transitioning when there are no long-term studies that show that it's actually a positive thing? Why exactly does...
Well, how do you know that? Have you given a link to really say that? Let me see here. Nope, you haven't really put a link there. So again, if you haven't put a link there, I can't really take your word as gospel. I can't. Sorry. Because again, there's plenty of trans people that have done great after their transition as well. So your argument's a moot point, pretty much.
Does there seem to be some gigantic gay collective witch hunt for the 2.5 Christian bakeries you can find somewhere in Alabama that don't want to bake cakes for a gay wedding? But the reaction to the Pulse Orlando nightclub shooting last summer was, oh, it has nothing to do with Islam, nothing to do with him being a Muslim. He was just repressed and demented. I mean, he was a Muslim, right? And that his parents were from Afghanistan. And he did pledge allegiance to ISIS before he did what he did. Just a thought. Why?
Okay, so she stated a couple of things there that I disagree with, obviously. So first of all, the bakery thing. So here's where I have a problem with this. Religious freedom, to me, you can believe in whatever you want, but don't let your beliefs negate what you do on your job. If you have a business, if you have a job, don't decline your customers or your clients the service that they want just because of your sexual orientation. That's just like saying, oh, you're black, so I'm not going to serve you. That's completely the same thing. You can't just deny someone because of their race, sexual orientation, or whatever. You can't do that. Neither their religion, obviously. So just because of their religion, sexual orientation, race, that doesn't mean that they can't be served as by the people in the business. And getting back to the shootings in Orlando, again, not all people on the left agree with Islam. I am not I'm not for Islam myself. I don't believe that Islam is a great religion. But I also don't believe that Christianity is a great religion either. I don't believe in any religion, to be honest. I'm not religious at all, if that makes you any more clear. But people should believe whatever they want, as long as they're not hurting anybody else. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Why exactly is not wanting to date or sleep with a trans person transphobic? I mean, not wanting to sleep with men isn't sexist. Not wanting to sleep with black people isn't racist. Preferences. Why does that...
Well, here's where I disagree. So, for example, I'm just going to put an example out there. Let's say that you meet another person, and basically the other person is trans, right? And they say that they're trans. And when the time comes that you sleep with the other person that is trans, right? And then you say, I don't want to sleep with you because of your private body parts or whatever. They're going to start saying, well, you're transphobic, and that's true. It's an absolutely true thing, because again, you don't have to treat trans people. That's not the point. But at least when you're going to date a trans person, don't just say, you're not going to have a private body part that, just don't. You have to be, understanding of what they have. Now, obviously, I do agree in this respect that you shouldn't force anybody to date you. That's true. Everybody are attracted to different things. That's very, very true. But that's not a preference. That's just being attracted to different things. There's a difference. There's a difference there. People are born to be attracted to different things, or different people, I should say.
The community insists on trying to change hearts and minds through laws. I mean, I understand the big ones like marriage, cool, but legislating pronoun usage in the workplace, that's just retarded. And to be honest, again, it's very counterproductive because who would want to hire someone who is a liability in that way? Can we?
Okay, so again, what's wrong with having, not laws obviously, but having more awareness of what pronouns we can use? Obviously, I am not for people going to jail because of what they don't say to other people, like the pronouns, for example. But I do think that we should at least bring more awareness to other sexualities and other genders out there, like they, them, for example. We should at least bring it more into consideration for people. That's not a disability or anything like that. That's just people. That's just who people are. Some people are they, them. Some people are non-binary or gender fluid and everything like that, and that's just who they are. You can't just change who they are like that. Like, that doesn't work like that.
Please stop referring to any slight fluctuation in one's levels of masculinity and femininity as being trans. Can we just go back to the medical definition of transsexuals rather than the Tumblr one? Why in the world?
Okay, so I'm not gonna talk about that point specifically because I am not trans myself, nor am non-binary myself, so I can't argue for people in that respect. So I'm just gonna leave that argument to people in the comments, and for people to tell me what they really think about that.
Are straight people and cis people often so demonized by the community? I mean, I've seen so many LGBT people have this really toxic sort of adversarial view of the majority of society, and I find it to be really unhealthy. I mean, you can't just walk around calling straight people breeders, which always cracks me up because it's like, you're welcome for being here, and cis scum, and expect to be treated with respect back. It doesn't really work like that.
But again, not all LGBT people do that. We don't hate straight people. We just hate homophobia. We hate people that, whatever who you are, hate. We hate the people that hate on LGBT people. That's what we hate. We don't hate on straight people inherently. We don't hate on people. It just so happens that most of the homophobic people are straight people. I mean, that's just common sense. It's not that we hate straight people. It's just that we happen to hate the homophobia, and most of the homophobia is against straight people. That's common sense. That's true. It's not something that hard to really comprehend. And again, yes, there are people that would say, that straight people are bad, but those are a tiny minority compared to what the whole community believes. Because I don't believe in the mentality that we should torture straight people or something like that. That's nonsense. Or torture people that are cis. It's nonsense. Why would we do that? Why would we do that? And also people that are transphobic, most of the people that are transphobic are obviously gonna be people that are cis. What else do you want? It's ridiculous. But anyways, thank you all for watching the video. I hope you like it. Comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace out.